No.
Cats are already in it.
Yeah, sorry.
We got a pair of new hosts on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, Frederick, tell us about your cats.
No, they will be here, but they want anonymity. They want to be able to live a normal life even after being featured in this show. So they have chosen to remain anonymous. But yes, you will hear some.
They're not doing a very good job.
They want to leave their mark for sure, but in an anonymous way, let's say. I used to wish my headphones were noise cancelling so I wouldn't have to hear this while I was recording.
The cats have actually heard more of the releases on this episode than James.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
very true.
That's actually true, yes, they have. So, anyway, welcome to the Visual Kei Podcast. I'm your host, Frederick, also known as Whirling Black, and with me today I have the usual hosts.
Your co-host, Alexi.
Hold on. I need to come up with something funny. Your pig of the empire, Aaron.
Okay.
It was a Rosenfeld reference.
Oh, okay. And I'm the editor, James, who once again hasn't listened to any of the things we're going to be talking about today. So I'm just here for comic relief, I guess, when applicable. But in my defense, I think Frederick sent me a list of like the 15 albums we're covering today, like 3 days ago. So I didn't have much time.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard of anything.
Yes.
So
Yes.
And to be fair, just having the position of being the editor is like an eternal excuse to never actually listen to anything we cover
absolutely.
on the show.
yeah, that's true. That's all I do.
You're just basically, you're like the guy behind the camera going, thumbs up,
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically god of this project, He can make us say anything he wants. He can just cut our sentences out of context and make us say horrible things.
Yeah.
So we better be nice to James.
I don't think he needs any help in that.
Yeah, anyway, so on today's episode, we're going to talk about some important releases from the year 1991. We kind of started this History of Visual Kei, let's say, series a while ago, but we never really got back to it. We did a lot of episodes in between, but we have finally decided to go back, so we're going to...
back to the 90s.
Yeah, we're going to go through what we consider the most important releases of the year 91. This is absolutely not an exhaustive list. I looked at vk.gy, there was hundreds of releases in the year 91, but we only have so much time and we only know so much things. So
And there's a lot of good stuff that came out this year, and we don't want to dive too deeply in case we want to do like a full episode on something. So it's...
Yeah, so we will give you 1 minute on each thing, and then, Alexi will talk for 20 minutes by himself.
Thank you. I'm just serving what the audience wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Alexi
Pitch
one-liners.
perfect monologue.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're going to hit this sort of chronologically just to make it a bit easier on ourselves. We haven't actually prepared that much. Probably not as much as we should have, but we will do our best.
Wow. No, I gave my heart and soul into this.
Yeah.
Okay.
People will be craving more.
Yes, absolutely.
And by that, I mean they'll be craving a better show.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, we will...
Now, if you would support us on Patreon...
Oh, the big reveal. Should that be now?
We talked about it in the last episode.
Oh, shit, you're right.
Yeah,
Patreon.
the Patreon
I already
last
forgot
episode.
it.
Yeah.
I also blame Joe Alcohol for a lot of things.
Joe Alcohol, yeah. That's an inside joke. If you want to understand what we're talking about, subscribe to Patreon and get access to that that first Patreon recording.
Hey, nice segue.
You'll learn the truth of that inside joke.
Yeah,
Joe
we basically...
Pay.
Pay us.
Pay to find out.
Pay to find out. Pay to know.
Yes. Anyway, let's move on to the first thing. And in January, BookTik released their single Speed, which was then followed up quickly by the full-length album Kuruta Tayo. So let's play a sample of Speed and then talk a bit about both of those releases.
So I got a question. Is this before or after the drug scandal?
After.
All right. Because the song is obviously
about drugs.
Maybe broaching the subject just a little bit.
Oh, totally. Oh, yeah. It's actually live. Imai will say things like in the verse, he'll say in the background stuff like pills, and he'll say speed is awesome, acid is awesome. He literally will say stuff like that. But
oh wow.
But it's apparently the original song title was Acid, as a reference to the scandal.
Oh.
They were just straight up going out with it and being like, yeah, that's right, Imai almost got sent to jail.
He really wanted back to jail. He did get sent to jail, didn't he? He was in jail for a while.
He was probably in jail for a little bit, right? And then he was in court. And
because I think the band was on hiatus for a while he was doing his jail sentence. Or was that just because of court hearings? I
think
don't
it was
know.
Court hearings.
Yeah,
because,
could be.
Yeah, part of the big scandal was that like all his fans were afraid he was going to get sent to jail for it.
Yeah.
But he made it out.
Yeah, anyway, it's a great choice for a single, though, from this album. I think it's, at least to me, it's probably the standout track on this album, personally. It's the one I listen to the most, and I think it's the one that has the most mainstream appeal, probably.
Definitely. And it's sort of, it's interesting because after Aku no Hana, this is quite a jump in energy level. The whole album, honestly, it's a lot more upbeat than Aku no Hana, which is fun because it's almost like they made it out of, you know, the roughest part of their career at the time, and they're sort of better than ever and happy and ready to rock.
Yeah, it's a gigantic departure. Atsushi was skulking up the stairs with his eyeliner and whatever, Imai dodging the popo, and now they're on the other deep end instead. Yep. So instead of this, like, maybe making the gothiest VK album, potentially maybe not ever, but at least at the time.
It's a good one.
And now they come up with this completely experimental album. There's a lot of sonic textures going on, and that's the chief innovation. The Aku no Hana is a very riff-driven album, whereas this one has these warped sounds, a lot of layering, jagged, fuzzy rock riffs that sort of like cut halfway through for effect. It's very cool and forward-thinking stuff. And again, they were so active, like the time span within Aku no Hana and this is what, a year at best, if you know that?
Yep. Between this and Aku no Hana is like almost exactly a year.
Is this where you started hearing some influences from like industrial stuff as well? Or would you say that's the following album? Because I feel like there's some stuff on this one and that already is sort of hearkening to it.
There is absolutely. This album, I mean, if you look at it on like a surface level, it might seem like, oh, this is like happier album something. It definitely isn't. It's still very deranged, and the lyrics can be super dark. Yeah. It's just not brooding in the same way, but it is still like a menacing album nonetheless.
Yeah, it's like a high energy, dark, edgy album, which is really nice. And also the music video is great. It features the legendary Atsushi looking pretty damn cool with his like black wide brim hat. And like this Spanish leather almost bullfighter outfit with tassels on it. I think Tatsuro from Mook copied it like 20 years later for Nirvana or whatever. Horrible release.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh no, why?
Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, actually I saw Booktick and Mook playing together in a concert. They were doing a two-man live in Osaka in 2016, I think it was.
Nice. Yeah, they're buddies.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I remember Mook played a Booktick cover. It wasn't one of the songs on this album though, sadly.
Oh yeah. I mean, I particularly like the session cover of what was it, like Bluktlick with Aye and Tatsuro?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like almost like a session super group which decided to make Bhakti covers. And it was very interesting because it was a session that was active in like 2002, I think, originally, and then it was like on hiatus for 15 years, and then it came back and did another bunch of shows. Yeah, I probably know more about Bluktlick than I know about Booktick, so.
Big Bluktlick archivist. Also, Nine Goats Blackout covered Speed down to the note.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's pretty alright.
It was okay.
Yeah,
it really just sounded like Rio doing karaoke over the original instrumental.
Yeah, it's a very serviceable cover, but it didn't reinvent the wheel.
But the B-side, what do you guys think about the B-side, Narcissus from Speed?
On the
Very
single.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, I don't remember what it sounds like.
Oh, I actually loved it. I think it sounds like an Akunohana outtake. It's moody and kind of like sexy vibe.
These are exactly my notes. I was basically just blown away again by just the taste of these guys. It's a bit of an outlier, obviously, like in between these two albums. It has that post-punkiness of Akunohana period and what the future was holding out. Yeah, honestly, 5 out of 5 track.
Yeah.
Can't say much more about it.
See, I think that this is a very interesting point to make a note of, because I think that it's not too uncommon for bands to like dump leftovers from the last album session, a recording session, on as B-sides for upcoming singles, because maybe they're like, oh, this was not quite album material, but we still don't want to throw it away, so we will reuse it and repurpose it as a B-side, to give people a bit more value with the next single.
Oh yeah, totally. It could be on like an extended edition of Akunohana. I'm surprised it's not. It's actually on the extended edition of Kuruta Tayo, which is interesting.
It is?
Yeah, it is. Or at least based on the stuff I read, they added 2 tracks to the end of Kuruta Tayo for a special edition, and one of them was Narcissus.
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. So this
like
album
you said,
I was going to say it went platinum after a month, so it was really successful for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't it their best-selling album, actually?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I thought it was Akunohana, but you might be right.
Yeah, I do believe it's this one. And it wasn't too... Well, actually, no. It is 4 or 5 years almost when their popularity started going down from the peak years. But this is them basically like at that fucking selling out the Budokan in a minute level.
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at a list here, and Kuruta Tayo is their best-selling album. Second best is Darker Than Darkness, and third is Akunohana.
I didn't know Darker Than Darkness got that good of a... I mean, it's really great, but I guess I'm surprised. It feels kind of esoteric.
I mean, this is very esoteric music as well, and nonetheless, they were still managing. This was the time when the popular culture was just right for Visual Kei to be as weird as it wanted.
It's great. I feel like I need to almost hold back my gushing for this album because we might do an episode on it one day. But let's just say if Akunohana was my favorite, then this is probably my second favorite Bucktick album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm joining the club.
And I think with that, we have covered January and February because those were the only releases we had on those months. So let's move on to March, when Sekill released... first a single called Lonely, and then a full-length album called Desert Town. Wow, this is such a good song.
Yeah. It's great. It's probably my favorite Sekill song. It's just a nice sort of gloomy rock ballad, but it has a nice texture to it. Great melodies.
Yeah. See, I think that's when Sekill is at their best, in my opinion, when they do this sort of like moody, slower songs with lots of layers and textures.
I agree. Yeah, they seem to do a lot of energetic songs, but it always kind of hit harder when it was the more dialed back Sekill.
Absolutely.
Well, this is a much fiercer album than the previous one. There is a lot. They're playing a lot faster. First of all, it's a lot of hard, more skronk, hitting harder. They kind of one-upped in every department almost. The first album not the first album, but actually the second one, Close Dance, has these moodier sections more so than this one. And this album is basically Lonely and like, I don't know, a track or two otherwise. But otherwise, I think Sekill is more characterized by the fact that they're really looking to Western bands. And this is like the straight-laced working man's band. So unlike Bucktick's experimentation, visual and musical, these guys were like totally rock and roll.
Yeah, a little more straight and narrow.
Yeah, they're not particularly androgynous either. They feel very laddish compared to the other guys around this time. They don't have that art school dropout vibe.
No, not at all.
That many bands do. Even their Lunger does.
Yeah. Like these guys seem like bros. Z-Kill totally could have been just like the friend band. Everybody's friends with Z-Kill. Whereas Bucktick always kind of felt like the weirdos in a way.
Yeah, I love their vk.gy like bio, where like, every year it has like this thing like what was happening at the time, and it says like high school dropout and David Bowie fan Tusk starts a band. It's like, yeah, that's his LinkedIn bio.
That's perfect.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but yeah, cool album. Title track is great. Night Call is great. I love the falsettos and the get out of my way part in Night Call. I mean, it's over and over, but it's so great. I love the whole. I think Night Call and Lonely are the highlights personally, and this album also was a kind of a success story for Z-Kill. It was in like the top 10 Oricon, but
I think they were rapidly rising at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The follow-up album is their best-selling release, unless I'm mistaken. I checked this out. I mean,
Night Call has one of the earliest examples of the German counting meme.
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
Wow.
So all the way back in 1991.
Yeah,
so
I think
it could legitimately be the first one.
Yeah,
unless some really like not even proto VK band, but something like Bowie tier band was doing it earlier, which is very possible.
But in VK, actually established Visual Kei.
Didn't we find the same thing also in a Louis Maris song? But it might be later one.
Yeah, it could be just like by a minute or two.
Yeah. I want to shout out the track Suicide as well. I've always been a big fan of Suicide.
Also very good. You've always been a big fan of Suicide.
Yes.
Frederick, we need to have an intervention, I think.
No, but once again, that's one of those songs that, like I mentioned earlier, those like very moody, slow songs, just very heavy on the atmosphere that I really like.
It's great.
I feel Tusk's voice lends itself very well to that kind of music.
It does. I think that's it. It fits better with moody melancholy than it does with, pop rock and arena rock.
Yeah. Or like the first album, which is kind of punk.
Yeah.
I think actually the first album stuff is where it fits the best. Although for Lonely, it's great as well. Then their later stuff is definitely more pop rocky, and I think we can all agree that artistically, this and the second album, Closed Ends, it's their undisputed peak. And the following albums, even if commercially successful, are artistically not as interesting. Mm-hmm. I think he started exploring his own proclivities more as to kind of doing Visual Kei. Even they don't really feel particularly Visual Kei. Like Visual Kei was already like going that way, and he was more keen on still emulating his heroes in the West, basically. So I respect him a lot for that.
Definitely. And I don't know if you guys watched the music video, but it's very early Visual Kei. Lots of like morph transitions from band member to band member. It's very melodramatic. Kind of reminds me of, I'm not sure. Yeah, basically Moonlight Hakuchumu by Leroy Dezavi, that Caligari parody band.
Oh yeah.
The music video for Lonely totally feels like that. And I mean, of course Z-Kill is one of the bands that they were parodying with that video anyway. But it fits.
Is there an Animorphs book where a salaryman transitions into this band man?
I hope so.
An Animorphs where Tusk turns into a walrus. But yeah, in the video, I like when there's 3 Tusks singing into the same mic together. It's pretty cool.
You know what? I actually have Desert Town. I have this album, and I've never listened to it, apparently. I thought I only had the first 2 albums, but I'm looking at my collection, and I have 5 albums by Z-Kill, and I've only ever listened to the first 2.
I think it's because it's like required to have them on your hard drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you consider yourself a VK fan.
Yeah, I'm going to check them out after this, though, because I actually really did like that sample we played.
Yeah, no, it's really good, and I think you'll also be impressed by the guitar playing in general, even in the faster tracks. And their later stuff isn't bad. Like they have the classics like I Love Cat, but it's not groundbreaking stuff anymore. We love Cat.
We do.
Yeah, too bad we're not reviewing I Love Cat, because Frederick's got cats in the background.
It would be a good day for it.
We could ask them for the input.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so also in March, the last live VHS of Darlanger was released, called Moon and the Memories, which, was the last thing they did together.
Yeah, this band was a comet. Rapid stylistic evolution. Then, like we mentioned in the 90 episode, they were sort of coming apart from the seams, and by the time this rollout, they were basically like all 1 foot out the door, and it's totally audible in this live. And those who want to watch it, by the way, the entire thing is on YouTube in the form of a nice Terraco with like the venue camera. It feels like Dying Cries on stage with Darlanger. Really cool, scrunky guitar stuff. A lot of fuzz. I don't know if you could even hear it in the sample, but they actually like played slightly differently. There's a lot of flourishes added. It feels like they're just playing really tight and very well. So definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, the one thing I want to say about this is that they were extremely, like you said, it was like such a quick career. Like when this was released, they were already disbanded for several months. They had, their big release of the Basilisk album in 1990, and by the end of 1990, they were already disbanded. So when this came out, the band was already gone, and they used to release it as like a memorial of their last live.
Yeah, and the footage was from the year before, right?
Yeah, 1990, in November. They had their last live then, I think. Or possibly it was the last of October. Might have been the last of October. Yeah, it was, yeah. But anyway, I think it's just interesting how this band, they were around from 83, but they just did nothing of importance, just played like generic speed thrash metal stuff until like 89, and then like Alexis said, they just had this enormous quick career, and by the end of the following year they were already gone.
Yeah, other than for like 1 year in the 80s, all they had to show for themselves was a demo called Girl and some other random party speed metal stuff, whatever. Then they put out 2 really good albums, and they're innovating at such a high pace by the second one that then it just all goes to ass. And obviously, Kyo would go on to do more important stuff later on, but not so much the other guys. They did have careers, obviously, but these guys are still, at least in the West, mostly remembered for Darlanger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Kyo looks cool with his headband.
He looks so good.
Yeah, he looks great. Bring back headbands in VK.
Didn't Tusk also wear bandanas?
So, I think Mori might have as well. Yeah. So I don't know if it where it comes from, like 100%, but a very, very strong contender is Hanoi Rocks from Finland, actually, which is inexplicably huge in Japan. It's been named many, many times as an influence, including by Kuroyume. And Kiyoharu also had the headband.
Well, you know who else had a headband for a while?
No.
Ryuichi Kawamura.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He did, yeah.
Which segues.
Oh, right. Yeah. So you were trying. Oh, well. You can't do that. Yeah. Subtleties doesn't work here.
Doesn't work.
But yes, we are now done. No, we're now done with March and moving on to April, and probably what I would consider the single most important album from the whole year, which is the Luna Sea debut album, their self-titled.
Man, what isn't there to say about one of the greatest defining albums in VK history? This and the next few Lunacy albums that would come out over the next few years would go on to influence countless bands in the scene for years and years to come. You can tell this was scripted. I'm like talking like an announcer. Inspiring imitators and derivatives in droves. Yeah, I love this album. It's great.
I mean, absolutely. You could probably... I mean, I would probably argue that this is the album where the VK sound sort of solidified, in a sense. I mean, a lot of bands before this were sort of like hinting at it, like the Basilisk album by Gerlanger and stuff. But I feel like this is where it's at.
It all comes together for this one. It's all, the synthesis of all these different currents that all these bands that are still around in 91 were like doing, but like separately. And Lunacy brings it all together. I guess the most important thing to happen to VK is that nobody of the important guys took like 100% to Yoshiki's vision per se, but kind of still took that romantic decadence and put it together with someone like Mori from Dead End and what they were doing musically in like with their last album. And that's basically how Visual Kei was born. A lot of dudes bringing very separate influences all together. And in Lunacy's case, it has to be said that it probably would have not happened if these guys weren't so talented.
Oh, yeah. They were the perfect kind of melting pot of all the best features of VK at the time.
And the interesting thing is that a lot of these songs, at least a bunch of them, they had already been written and performed by the end of 1989. So, you know, this was a long time in the making. I'm sure they were like... And I think they were still hashing some things out. I think some of the songs changed over the year.
Yeah,
but
like if you listen to old demos, the songs did change. Like every time you heard them up to this album, they were different. So they really kind of just polished their sound until it really came to a head.
I mean, they did have like a metal background, sort of. Like the band Slaughter, and then their like very, very first demo has a little bit of that. So they kept that fierceness and energy, but they started to have more of a post-punk outlook musically otherwise. They did, for example, mention as their influences a band like Discharge and GBH, and you can hear that in a track like Shade, for example, with the fucking deep beat drumming or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's super cool. And that stuff meant so much for future Visual Kei.
I love Shade. Shade and Branch Road, such good songs. I mean, there's tons of good songs on this album. Like Moon is a timeless classic that I can't even say enough about. And it only gets better on the next album. But this one is like, there's not a single skip on this whole thing. The only song I find myself less enamored over is Fate, but it's still a good song. It's just like sometimes I'll skip it.
It's very short though, so you might as well suffer through it.
Might as well just suffer through it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Suffer.
If you can talk about suffering while listening to Lunacy, that's it's used in a very relative sense.
It is. I think if I were ever to talk about suffering during Lunacy, it would be listening to Ryuichi's newer voice style. He kind of gets
it would be listening to the re-recording of this album.
Yeah, oh my god.
Oh no, that's
the uncles are back playing the greatest hits of their teenage years.
Yeah, basically, I mean, they kind of did like
you still got it, and that fucking beard is growing.
No, the thing is that they kind of did like Rolling Stones, except they're like, 50 years younger or something like that. They started slowing down their songs so they could keep up.
Yeah.
Like they haven't exactly mummified, but nonetheless are significantly aged.
Yeah, because the thing is that, like the original Shade, for example, is like twice as fast as the re-recording.
Yeah.
Like the re-recording version is super slow.
Yeah, we're too old for this tempo. Our bones don't move fast enough anymore.
Yeah, it's honestly a bit of a shame that they've been so sleek for the vast majority of their career, because at this time they were actually looking really dark. Like they had these long drapey clothes and kind of messy long hair. And one difference between them and other guys, well, this is actually what they shared with Goth, Derlinger, and Baktik, is that their hair was actually going just straight down. It wasn't flying all over the place like the really speed metal influenced Visual Kei bands. They were playing so well. There is a video clip with, I think it's like maybe 30 minutes long, maybe a bit longer. It's a live from the year 91. They play a lot of this album. They play Mechanical Dance on it. They're an amazing live band. Just like with the Derlinger, the live renditions are slightly different. So really worth checking out. So go and search that on YouTube.
Yeah, good shit. And also Ryuichi's voice, mentioning it earlier, it's actually kind of in its infancy here. Like, it's really raspy and not quite as, the range isn't completely there, but he's got that sort of like edge in this album that disappears in later albums. He really cleans it up into a croon after this.
Yeah, I think by the time of Eden, it's gone.
Uh-huh.
I think at this point he's still like trying to grasp more than he can chew sometimes, and he does it in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, I think later he becomes very comfortable with his register and knows what to do with it, and in here he was still, running on willpower in a different sense. It's just a great album in every way, except for the very unfortunate production. It has a very very sort of like shrill and bassless sound.
Hard disagree. I think it's part of the appeal. Even Image is already produced with much higher fidelity, or how would you call it? But for this one, it actually adds into the sort of this kind of pristine quality. Like, it has this metallic sheen. I don't know. I'm a big fan of it.
The production is as raspy as Ryuichi's voice was at the time, for sure.
Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect comparison. Yeah.
Also, last thing I have to say is that if you're a Mary fan, they covered Precious once, and it's okay. That's all I got.
I think you can name like every single Visual Kei band that has been active since at least since 2000, probably earlier. Everyone has covered them. Yeah. I know that fucking like Macaroni has covered Luna Sea, so
Yeah.
Why didn't we get Macaroni doing a cover of the entire first album by Luna Sea?
Yeah, it would have been sick.
If only they were like, we're back, but here's our first album remade by Macaroni, entirely helped
here's
by
our
aging.
friends Macaroni, completing and fully realizing our vision that we just couldn't do at the time.
Yeah,
Tokyo Dome is chanting macaroni, macaroni. They walk on stage, fucking babies are thrown in the air and thrown off the rafters. Big macaroni banner rolls.
Luna Sea booed off the stage.
AJ is crying somewhere. The Emperor is there in the audience with his macaroni shirt. Frederick also has a macaroni shirt, but he doesn't listen to them.
Oh man, bring it back.
Nice.
Oh no, I thought they would have died with the last episode. But yeah, it's a very it's one of those albums I think that everyone should give a listen. If there's one album to take away from this year, if you only have time for one, I would say it's this one you have to listen to.
Agreed. Hey, enjoying the show? Awesome. Good to hear. You know what's really cool? There's this shop online called Rare's Hut. Rare's Hut is your source for rare and not so rare imported Japanese rock, metal, and Visual Kei outside of Japan. Their prices compete with street prices in Japan, so save on import fees and shop at Rare's Hut. If you're a new customer, be sure to enter the code VKPC at checkout to get 10% off your first order. So Rare's Hut just put up a bunch of new stuff on the site after the big holiday auctions, which was cool. By the way, the last auctions they'll ever do. So if you missed them, I'm sorry for you. I missed them, but I was busy. Anyways, I put ghost bids in, so yeah. I don't think I won anything, but I did at least put some bids in. So on the site right now, they have 3 D-Flower cassettes. Pretty cool. They're less than $16 each. You should buy those up. Buy the whole trilogy. D-Flower, aka Noir Fleury, were a pretty cool band. They loved flamenco scales a lot, despite having a French name and not embracing Spanish imagery at all. So it's kind of a weird juxtaposition. Go grab those. They're pretty cool. By the way, if you enjoy this episode and want to help us out, please subscribe. Give us a like or a 5-star rating. Recommend us to your friends. Follow us on Twitter. We are at the VK Podcast. You can also join the vk.gy Discord server and hang out with us and meet other new VK fans, because it's just a great community in general. We have a little channel on there, but I'm pretty sure you'd enjoy the whole rest of the channel, or the whole server itself. You can catch new episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and pretty much anywhere else you can listen to podcasts. By the way, if you want to support us on Patreon, beyond giving us, your sweet, sweet listens, we have a Patreon set up where we post exclusive outtakes and side episodes and whatnot. You can also contribute to sort of voting in what our next episodes will be. Stuff like that, among many other things. All of your support goes towards keeping the show running and making it better, so we super duper mecha appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's www.patreon.com/VKPC. Oh yeah, and by the way, vk.gy is doing a special little event type thing. It's going to be on their Discord server. If you want a chance at securing some VK goodies, whatever it may be, join vk.gy's Discord server. Head over to the giveaway channel and react to the giveaway post that gets posted there. If you are chosen as the winner, you'll have to know the secret word, or you won't qualify. What's the secret word? I'll tell you. But you can't tell anyone. It's a secret. Anyways, it's berries. The word berries. berries. That is all. Just berries. The giveaway ends on the 23rd, or 7 days after this episode airs, so don't miss out. Now, back to the show. Boy!
And with that, I think we're moving on and going to June, where there were 2 releases. The first one is Escape by Louis Mary.
You hear it too, right?
Yeah. All the time has gone.
But now since I don't feel the reverse, the greenness of the race can be like they are.
Come on, baby, don't feel
Baby, take my hand, be able to fly. Have you seen The Stand by Stephen King?
Yeah.
When this disease breaks out from the lab and they start playing. Imagine if they reshot that show and it's actually Louis Mary that starts playing instead of Blue Oyster Cult's Don't Fear the Reaper. That this is shameless. I repeat, shameless knockoff.
They ripped the whole main riff from that song for sure.
Wow.
And the rest are just a very generic VK song tacked on. The lowest effort, just computer generated.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think this is one of those bands that are quite obscure in the overseas fandom, but the thing is that I think that this band is mostly known as an interesting footnote in the career of their vocalist these days. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Oh, yeah. Actually, while listening for this episode, I realized I'd never heard any Louis Mary, and I'd never heard of them at all, but it seemed like their name was familiar to me. And so I looked it up while I was listening, and I'm like, what the hell? I had no idea he was in a VK band at any point. I thought he was a pop star from the beginning. So very interesting, because he's not a good singer in this. He really he glowed up, in my opinion.
And who is it?
That is fucking TM Revolution. He is the main vocalist in this band.
Oh, really? I know TM Revolution.
Yeah. Takanori
Nishikawa?
Nishikawa, yeah.
I think. Yeah, but he's like one of the biggest pop stars in Japan. I think he's enormous.
Yeah, he's huge.
So it's kind of funny to hear where it all started. I mean, he did have another VK band
Ripping
later.
off Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes, exactly.
He's like, this sucks. I'm moving on. I'm going pop.
You know what? I think I'm more talented than these guys. And he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, TM Revolution is good, honestly.
Yeah, I love TMR.
I mean, he also had another band I thought was VK, but according to vk.gy, they're not VK, so I guess not. But it was called Abingdon Boys School.
Oh, well, it was kind of like a pseudo VK because it was like it had alumni from VK bands, but it was kind of like a super group that was more general J-pop.
So they've graduated
audience.
from VK.
Yeah,
They're in a new school.
at least they were comfortable coming to Europe under the auspices of a like J-Rock tour organizer, and they were performing in Finland, for example.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, because the thing is that, yes, I think they were sort of VK in the same vein that a band like The Studs were VK, that basically they were all from VK bands, but no one wore any makeup or anything like that. They used to wear some flashy clothes sometimes, like a suit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going back to Louis Mary, I think that they might have actually been quite popular around this time in Japan, which, you know, is a big surprise to me based on what we have heard. But
yeah, they got on TV at some point, I think. I was reading somewhere that they got on TV.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very funny because like on their profile, it's like it says like the amount of people attending lives. It says like live is held, 70 people attend.
Wow.
Live is held, 100 people attend.
Nice. That's good.
So, you know,
It's pretty good.
according to a certain someone, I think this would make them a smash hit in the underground VK scene.
Oh my god, I mean... Anyone who wasn't in the fucking witness protection program is a smash hit, according to a certain someone.
Yeah, no names mentioned. But yes, I think that it's interesting because I think a lot of people listen to TM Revolution, so it might be a good thing for them to go back and listen to some Louis Mary to hear where he started out.
Yeah, it's an interesting footnote. It was really interesting hearing him not really be able to sing for once. Wasn't super into the release either. Like, the music is not, you know, I played it a few times before the cast, and I just couldn't get that into it. But I think it's good to acknowledge bands like this existing at the same time as Lunacy's self-titled coming out, because it really makes you appreciate Lunacy, I think.
Oh yeah, and I mean, let's be
absolutely.
fair, it does sound like VK.
Oh yeah,
It's
Yeah.
91.
can't deny that.
Yeah, and we're actually going to get to that point pretty soon. The point that you made about VK and, you know, the different sounds that existed at this point. But for that, first, let's move on to one of those bands that definitely does not sound like Lunacy, and it's Kamaitachi's Jekyll to Hyde, which was also released the same month of June.
And then what's the name of this song that we're about to play?
Masturbation.
Our audience can relate.
They're doing it right now.
So are the hosts.
Honestly, I think they're pretty fun.
I love them. Yeah,
Yeah, they're not bad.
it's so fun. This is the only punk album on the cast right now. I mean, on this episode, it's great. Kenzie is the true elder god of visual punk, in my opinion. It's sad that Kamaitachi kind of disbanded like right after this album. But I mean, they all went on to different sort of better things, or equally good things.
He was the drummer of this band, so it's important to note that unlike in Anti-Feminism, which is his big project, he was not the vocalist of this one. It was some good dude called Skiana.
Oh yeah, the vocalist of this band was Skiana or Sienna.
Even though this was like a smaller current in the whole VK thing, it lasted for a very, very long time. I think there are even some parallels with like a band like the Pias, even during the nu metal period. It's just something about that, like the very dingy aesthetic. And then obviously some of that would leak into even some of like Matina Eternal bands.
I was going to say that I think this, you can tell that this was a free will band. We haven't really covered much of the free will bands on the podcast because personally I was never that deep into the stuff like Color and all of those guys. But I think this has that kind of lineage sound-wise.
Yeah.
We
Totally.
haven't covered a lot of free will bands. Thus spake the podcast where half of the episodes are about Darren Gray.
Oh, I mean the original Free Will cast, like the 80s and 90s Free Will. Sorry, I should have specified.
Vintage Free Will.
Yeah, like the original run Free Will. Sorry. But yeah, I think, and also I feel like Kamaitachi and their sound is kind of almost had some influence maybe on the sort of like punky VK bands that started appearing around the turn of the millennia, possibly.
I was going to mention the same thing. I mean, everything down to their look was, I feel like the sort of the pop punk, like Kote Osare bands that came out in the early 2000s, I feel like their influence was more toward bands like Kamaitachi than Lunacy. It's like different lineages. It branched out. Kamaitachi begat Baroque, essentially.
And Ankafe.
Oh, no. There's
someone,
always a dud in the lineage somewhere.
Yeah, it's interesting though. You can definitely draw that line. Like obviously there is a little bit more different genetic material mixed in, but all of these bands that were around in 91 actually matter.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, exactly. That's very important to note. Is these are all every band that came out in the 90s, especially this early period, they were essentially setting the genetic code for every band that would come afterward, and so it's very important. Except maybe Louis Mary.
I was actually literally thinking the same thing.
See, I mean, I wouldn't say every single band. Like I said, I went through a list of like 400 releases to select these 15 or whatever we have. But
that's a good point.
At least every band on this list certainly
it's a testament to your curation skills that we have all seminal bands on this list.
Yes, I'm very proficient at reading text and selecting things.
clicking your mouse.
Yes, that too. That too.
Yeah, as for Kamaitachi, I always wonder, Genkaku Allergy formed a year after Kamaitachi broke up, but with Kazi and Sienna from Kamaitachi without Kenzie. So I often wondered if they broke up because of a difference with Kenzie, because he went to Dead Pop Stars and they went to Genkaku Allergy. I mean, they were on good terms eventually, but I always wondered about that. Like, what happened?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case.
And it's not like
based
they split
on just assumptions.
Yeah, their sound was still very much the same, so it's not like there was creative difference, but who knows?
There was a band meeting and Kenzie was like, so there's this guy Yohio who I want to bring to Japan, and the other guys were like, oh, I don't know.
He was like, in 5 years, this guy is going to be born that I want to bring his tours to Japan.
He was already sliding to 10-year-old Yohio's MySpace DMs.
No, this was 91. He wasn't born yet.
Oh.
Kenzie the
you have to cut that out. I think that could be... I think we might have crossed the line for defamation.
Sorry. That was the most controversial thing I've ever said.
All right, I'll cut it out.
You can bleep it out.
I'll say something more lighthearted. Can you imagine how much maintenance their big red hair must have required? Because this band, wow, huge hair. Most of their career was red hair. I think their later period was red hair.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, I think it was kind of like the signature look of the free will bands at the time. I mean, Color also had huge red hairs.
All you need is hot sauce and a blow dryer.
Hot sauce, yeah.
Wow.
Just a vat of Tabasco.
You just lay down in some Tapatio. Listen to punk music. That's how you get Kamaitachi.
Okay, so since we have now covered half the year and this episode is running a bit long, I think we will cut it in 2 parts. We will end part 1 here, and you will hear part 2 when it comes out eventually.
Sayonara.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening. Now I'd like to take a moment to thank our core member patron, BioPanda. Panda, we love you. You know we love you. But, we'd like to remind you, because I think it's important to remind people that you love them. If you're listening out there, tell people you love them. If you love someone, say it. Just go. They live too far away? It doesn't matter. Call them, pick up the phone, and go. You have to do the ringing with your mouth whenever they pick up, so they're like, "Oh, hello," So that way they know that they got a phone call. So when they answer, just be like, "I love you," and it doesn't matter how they react. It doesn't matter. It's worth it. Trust me. The reaction alone is worth it. Anyways, BioPanda is awesome. Back to that. My earliest memory of Panda is buying cassettes off of them on Monochrome Heaven, back before Rare's HUD even became a thing. They've always been sort of a big VK hoarder, and honestly, I love that. And I look forward to the day that they make some kind of internet archive for VK. That, or turn vk.gy into an internet archive of sorts with scans and stuff, a la Discogs. I'm sure it'll happen one day. I'm just putting that out there. Thanks again.